welcome back to Tolkien Tuesdays. Today will be our last episode in this Part 3 series. We are back with Tanisha Gupta and Sabrina Chen to talk about the theme of desire in The Hobbit.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'm so excited to be back.
Today we will discuss how desire is developed through the book and how it plays out in the end of the journey. Sabrina, what are your thoughts on desire and how it plays out in the role of Thorin's character?
Well, Max, I think Thorin realizes that his desire for gold was not a healthy fuel source for his motivation for the journey. He finally sees how his greed led to his death and the death of 4 other dwarves. As he dies, he comes to the realization of why Bilbo was so much more successful than he was. He learns that his want for gold plagued his mind, and Bilbo's simple but important values were much more important. We can see how this moment in the story signifies Thorin's character development.
That's a very interesting point you make. I can also see how Thorin's desire for gold in the eyes of a modern audience like us tells people how good Thorin's heart is. In our society, we're usually taught that money is great, but love, loyalty, and reason are even better. I think Tolkien's story definitely has that life lesson in The Hobbit. Evidence of this is when Thorin states, "If more people valued home above gold, this world would be a much merrier place," on the side of his deathbed. This shows the change in his character as well. Even though it's a little too late for him to truly change who he is through his actions, he learns in the end that everything isn't about vast quantities of wealth, and that the simple values of life keep your lofty goals in check.
Indeed. Now Sabrina, do you feel like if Thorin Oakenshield continued to live out his life, that he would succumb to the deeper understanding of life? Or did he really just need to die to fully realize what life truly meant?
Well, Max, I feel like his death is an important aspect of his character development alongside what happens outside of his character. Thorin's death is like a punishment for his greed, and so is the death of some other dwarves. I think Thorin would have undergone some character development even if he didn't die, because there's still the pain of losing his friends. This might be even more important than Thorin's own death, because if Thorin doesn't die at the end, he still has to live with the fact that his greed and wrongdoings has led to some of his friends' downfalls.
Yes, and continuing with this statement, had Thorin not died, let alone fought in the Battle of the Five Armies, his character wouldn't have developed at all during the end of the story. He would still be a greedy old king who hoards his gold up in the mountain all by himself, just like Smaug. Thorin learned through sacrifices that not only does his own greed lead to his downfall, it leads to the downfall of others who are close to him.
Thorin's desire for gold and the reclamation of his throne was what drove him on the adventure in first place. That desire had not only pulled himself on this adventure, but also the rest of the dwarves along with Bilbo. His greed and desire derive him from his life and blinded him from what made him unsuccessful. It costed the deaths of his fellow dwarves that accompanied him on this journey to say that he was wrong. As a character trait, it really drives home how stubborn Thorin is. You could say that another lesson from this story is that stubbornness is not an ideal trait, though it gets you through the hardships when needed the most.
Thank you for joining us for the final episode of Tolkien Tuesdays. As always, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.